Donald Trump just told House Republicans that passing his elections bill would guarantee the midterms. What happened next tells you everything about the real power struggle inside the Republican Party. Because instead of rushing to pass it, House leaders quietly moved on. And that silence may be the most revealing part of the story. The bill Trump is pushing, the updated Save America Act, isn't just another policy proposal. It includes controversial provisions like a near-total ban on mail voting, a change that could reshape how millions of Americans cast ballots. Trump framed it bluntly. Pass this bill, he told Republicans, and it would guarantee victory in the 2026 midterms. That's not subtle messaging. It's a direct claim that election rules themselves could determine the outcome. But when Republican lawmakers gathered at Trump's golf resort in Doral, Florida, the reaction was noticeably restrained. Speaker Mike Johnson did not put the bill at the center of the agenda. In fact, he didn't even list it among the must-pass priorities in his closed-door meeting with members. Instead, Republicans spent their time discussing highway infrastructure, surveillance authorities, water projects, and a scaled-down farm bill. These are technical policies that could realistically pass Congress with Democratic votes. In other words, the leadership pivoted toward legislation that could actually become law. And that matters, because Trump reportedly warned lawmakers he might refuse to sign other legislation until his election bill passes. Yet senior Republicans are already treating the Save America Act as a Senate problem, where the 60-vote filibuster rule makes passage extremely unlikely. Translation: even members of Trump's own party know the bill may never survive the Senate. This is where the story changes, because the deeper conflict isn't just about one election bill, it's about control. Over the Republican Party, over messaging, and over the fragile coalition that brought Republicans back to power. Behind closed doors at the retreat, Republican strategists were warning lawmakers about something else entirely: voters. Trump's political team urged members of Congress to highlight human stories of constituents benefiting from tax cuts and economic policies. They encouraged lawmakers to talk about savings programs for children and tax exemptions for tips and senior income. At the same time, they warned Republicans to tone down aggressive rhetoric about mass deportations. Why? Because some GOP lawmakers fear their support among Hispanic voters is starting to erode. Several Hispanic Republican members have reportedly raised these concerns directly with White House officials. Even Speaker Johnson publicly admitted there has been what he called a hiccup among voters who see the administration's immigration enforcement as overly aggressive. So while Trump is demanding an election overhaul he claims would secure victory, his own party is quietly recalculating the political risks of his agenda. And there's another problem: unity. Republicans hold only a razor-thin majority in the House. Passing major legislation without Democratic votes would require near-perfect party discipline, something several senior lawmakers openly doubt they can achieve. One Republican committee chair put it plainly: getting those final votes will be difficult. Now look at what that actually means. The party is trying to balance three forces at once: Trump's demands, the reality of Senate rules, and a coalition of voters that could fracture before the midterms. And when those pressures collide, the result looks exactly like what we're seeing now: public loyalty to Trump, paired with quiet legislative avoidance. Because beneath the speeches and applause, the real calculation inside Washington isn't about guarantees, it's about survival. And the unsettling question hanging over this moment is larger than one bill or one election cycle. If political leaders start arguing that changing the rules of voting is the key to winning elections, what does that reveal about the health of the system those rules are supposed to protect?